The battlefield was silent now. Smoke rose from broken machines and fallen bodies. Alien metal ships, once flying high, were now twisted like trash. The ground was dark with ash, and the sky was full of angry red clouds. Tom, a human engineer, walked slowly across the wreckage. His boots crunched on metal and bones. His suit was torn and his hands were dirty. He didn't come here to fight. He came to fix a damaged satellite tower. But what he found was something else entirely. A war had happened here, not human war, alien war, and something about it didn't feel right. Tom stopped near a pile of rubble. Something had moved under the broken steel. Just for a second he thought he saw a flicker of motion. He crouched down, brushed away dust, and listened. Then he heard it. A soft cough. Weak. Barely there. "Hello?" Tom whispered, leaning closer. Under the twisted pipes and scorched panels, he saw a small hand. Not human. Thin fingers. Light purple skin. Claws slightly cracked. He dug carefully, throwing pieces aside. Finally, he saw her. She was young, maybe a teenager by human guess. Her skin was bruised. Her chest rose slowly, painfully. Her silver hair was matted with blood. Her eyes were closed, but her face still showed pain. She was alive. Barely. Tom gently touched her neck. "You're still breathing," he whispered. "I've got you." He pulled her out with care. Her body was light, fragile, like a bird. She wore torn clothes, covered in dirt and dried blood. Her arm hung wrong, maybe broken. She was shaking, cold to the touch. Tom looked around. No one else. No soldiers. No medics. No survivors. Just her. "Where is everyone?" he asked quietly. "Why are you alone?" She didn't answer. Her eyes stayed shut. But a tear rolled down her cheek. Tom looked at her face, young, scared, and full of pain. He couldn't leave her here. He wrapped her in his jacket, lifting her gently into his arms. "It's okay," he said. "You're safe now. I won't let you die here." Tom ran to his rover parked outside the battlefield. Inside was a basic med kit, water, and some food. He placed her on the back seat, cleaned her wounds the best he could, and gave her small sips of water. Still, she didn't wake. Tom spoke to her even though she didn't reply. "I'm not a doctor, but I'll find help. Just hang in there. All right?" As he drove through the dust storms and rocky hills, his mind raced. Alien hospitals were near the capital zone, maybe 2 hours away. They had advanced tech, machines far better than human ones. They could heal broken bodies in minutes. But would they help her? She was young, weak, and clearly left behind. Would they care? He had to try. 2 hours later, Tom reached the alien medical center. The guards looked at him with cold eyes. One of them, tall and green-skinned, stepped forward. "I found her at the battle site," Tom explained. "She's still alive, please help her." The guard looked at the girl, then sneered. "Why?" "She's injured, dying." "She was marked," the guard said. Tom frowned. "Marked?" "She is one of the discarded, a weak one, useless to our kind. The doctors already checked her." "You're just going to leave her to die?" Tom asked, shocked. "She is a failure," the guard replied coldly. "Not worth saving." Tom looked down at her. Her breathing was even slower now, her face pale. He felt anger boil in his chest. "She's not a failure," he said quietly. "She's alive. She's not your problem, human." Tom looked at the cold, shining hospital behind the guard. He thought of the powerful machines inside, the skilled alien doctors who could fix anything, but they wouldn't help her because they didn't care, because she was weak. Tom clenched, his fists then turned away. "If you won't help," he said, "I will." He carried her back to the rover, heart pounding with anger and fear. Her body was lighter now, like she was slipping away. As he drove off into the night, Tom whispered, "I'll find someone who won't give up on you." He didn't know where. He didn't know how. But one thing was clear. This alien girl deserved a chance to live, and Tom would give everything to make that happen. Tom drove fast through the alien night. The roads were dark, lit only by the rover's yellow headlights. The alien girl lay in the back seat, her chest rising slowly, her skin pale like starlight. She didn't speak. She didn't move. But she was still alive, and Tom wasn't giving up. He had failed at the hospital. They had looked at her like garbage, not like a person, not like someone who mattered. But Tom had made a silent promise to her, and he wasn't the kind of man who broke promises. As the rover bounced over sharp rocks, Tom looked at her through the mirror. She was wrapped in his jacket, her silver hair falling across her bruised face. "She's not just another alien," he whispered. "She's a child, a living being." Then he remembered something, a human vet clinic. Not far, maybe 40 minutes away, on the edge of a trading outpost. It was meant for alien pets and farm animals. But the vet there was different. Her name was Dr. Lena, and she didn't follow rules. She helped anyone who needed it, even strange cases, even hopeless ones. He reached the clinic just after midnight. The building was small, metal walls covered in dust and faded signs. A soft red light blinked above the door. The place was closed. Tom banged on the door. "Lena, it's Tom. Please open up. I need help." No answer. He knocked again, louder this time. "She's dying. Please." Finally, the door clicked and slid open. A tired woman with short black hair stepped out, holding a mug of tea. "Tom?" she said. "It's the middle of the night. What's going on?" Tom stepped aside. "Come look." Lena's eyes widened as she saw the alien girl in the back seat. She rushed over, checking her pulse, her breathing, her broken arm. "She's not a pet," Tom said. But they refused to help her. Her own kind left her to die. Lena looked at him, then back at the girl. "Bring her inside, now." Inside the clinic, machines started buzzing. Lights flickered on. The air smelled of medicine and metal. Lena gently placed the girl on the table. "She's in bad shape, deep bruises, cracked ribs, internal bleeding, and this arm." She paused, completely dislocated. "Can you fix her?" Tom asked. "I can try," Lena said, already moving fast. Tom stood in the corner watching. As Lena worked, she moved like magic, cleaning wounds, injecting medicine, resetting bones. She didn't ask questions. She didn't judge. She just helped. Hours passed. Finally, Lena stepped back, wiping sweat from her brow. "She's stable now," she said. "Not out of danger, but stable." Tom let out a long breath. Then the alien girl stirred. Her eyes opened, slowly, carefully. Glowing violet eyes full of confusion. She looked around, scared. Her lips moved, but no sound came out. "She's awake," Tom whispered. The girl's gaze locked on Tom. Her lips trembled. She was trying to speak. Tom knelt beside her. "You're safe now. No one will hurt you." Her voice was dry and weak. Just one word came out. "Why?" Tom blinked. "What?" "Why did you help me?" she asked, barely a whisper. Tom smiled softly. "Because you're alive, and you deserve to stay that way." Her eyes filled with tears. No one had ever said that to her before. Later, Lena pulled Tom aside. "You said the alien doctors rejected her." Tom nodded. "Called her useless, weak, said she was already marked." Lena frowned. "Marked? That's serious. That means her kind gave up on her completely." "Why would they do that?" Tom asked. Lena sighed. "Some alien races believe in only keeping the strong. If someone gets injured and becomes a burden, they're left behind. It's cruel, but it's tradition. She's just a kid. No." Tom looked back at the girl, now sleeping peacefully in a warm bed. She looked smaller now, fragile, like glass. "I'm not giving her back to them," he said. "I don't care what their rules are." Lena nodded. "Good, because something tells me This girl's story is far from over. Rain tapped softly on the clinic windows. Outside, the alien world was silent. But inside the small human vet clinic, life stirred where death once waited. The alien girl, Rilke as they now knew her name, lay wrapped in blankets, breathing slowly, but steadily. Her skin still looked pale and her arm was in a sling, but the fear in her eyes had lessened. Just a little. Tom sat beside her bed, tired but awake. He hadn't slept, not since he found her under the rubble. He held a cup of tea in both hands, staring at the steam. His mind kept replaying her whisper. "Why did you help me?" He didn't have a clear answer. Maybe because she reminded him of someone. Maybe because the world had grown too cold and kindness had become rare. Or maybe because in that moment he couldn't imagine being the kind of man who walked away. Lena, the human vet, stood by the counter checking her notes. "She's healing faster than expected," she said softly. "Her body is different. Her cells are unusual." Tom looked up. "Different how?" Lena walked over and showed him a scan. The image on the screen glowed in strange colors, patterns moving like waves. "Her blood is doing something mine." "Never does," Lena explained. "It's repairing tissue at high speed, bone too, and her nervous system, it's adapting." Tom frowned. "What does that mean?" Lena glanced at the girl. "It means she wasn't born weak. She was born
special."
That night, Rilke opened her eyes again. She looked around the room, then at Tom. "You're still here," she said, voice still soft. Tom smiled. "Told you I wouldn't leave." Rilke struggled to sit up. Tom helped her. "Why did they leave?" she asked. Tom didn't want to lie. "They thought you couldn't be saved." She stared at the floor. "Because I was sick." "No," Tom said firmly. "Because they didn't understand you." She looked up, confused. "They said you were weak," Tom continued. "But that's not true. You survived something that killed everyone else. That's strength." Rilke looked at him for a long time. No one had ever said that to her, not even her own kind. And something changed in her expression. The sadness in her eyes didn't vanish, but behind it, a small spark appeared. The next morning, trouble arrived. A black transport ship landed quietly outside the vet clinic. 2 tall alien officials stepped out. Their uniforms were perfect, their faces cold. Lena stepped outside, nervous. "We're looking for the girl," one of them said. "The discarded one." "She's not discarded anymore," Lena replied. The taller alien stared at her. "She is property of the Kalari Council. Her recovery was not authorized. She must be returned." Tom stepped outside. "She's not going anywhere. You're interfering in council affairs," the alien snapped. "I'm protecting a life," Tom said. "You left her to die. That means she's not yours anymore." The alien narrowed his eyes. "You'll regret this." The 2 officers turned and left. But they didn't go far. The ship hovered nearby, watching. Tom looked up at the sky. "We're being hunted now." Later, inside, Rilke sat up, her body stronger, but her hands were shaking. "They came for me," she whispered. "They won't take you," Tom promised. "But they don't want to save me," she said. "They want to silence me." Tom's stomach sank. "Why?" Rilke looked down at her arm, then at the scanner screen still showing her blood. "Because I'm not just sick. I'm different. I can heal fast. I was born with something they can't control." Tom sat beside her. "Then they fear you." She nodded. "They wanted to study me, break me. But I ran. That's when the attack happened. And I thought, maybe I deserve to be left behind." Tom gently held her hand. "You didn't deserve that. No one does. You're not broken. You're a miracle." Lena joined them, holding a data pad. "I've been doing research, her biology. It's rare. Almost impossible. If this gets out, many races would kill to use her blood for experiments or weaponry." Tom's face hardened. "Then we have to protect her, no matter what." Rilke looked between them, This strange human vet and this stubborn engineer. Neither of them knew her, yet they stood between her and the danger outside. Something stirred deep in her chest. Not fear, not sadness. Hope. For the first time in her life, she felt like someone wanted her alive. Rilke stood at the edge of the clinic window, staring into the dark sky. The stars above were quiet, but her memories were not. Behind her, Tom sat near the table, fixing a damaged scanner. Doctor, Lena checked medicine trays, but Rilke didn't hear them. All she could hear was the sound of fire, crashing, screaming, her sister yelling her name. The memories came back like pieces of a broken mirror. She closed her eyes and remembered everything. 1 week ago, her colony was alive and full of light. She and her sister Vina used to race through the blue leaf trees, laughing until their lungs hurt. Their mother worked in the science tower. Their father trained defense pilots. Everyone had a place, a purpose, except her. Rilke was different. Her body didn't react like others. Her wounds healed too fast. Her blood was strange. The council took her for tests again and again. At first they called her special. Then they called her dangerous. Then they stopped calling her at all. She was a secret, a puzzle her people couldn't control. And in their fear, they decided to remove the problem. She opened her eyes. The fire in her mind grew stronger now. She turned slowly to face Tom and Lena. There's something I haven't told you. Tom looked up. Take your time. Rilke sat down. Her hands trembled. Her voice was soft, but her words cut like knives. They didn't just leave me behind. They tried to kill me. Tom froze. They called it an accident, said a fuel leak caused the explosion. But I saw them. I saw one of the council guards set the charge near my room. Lena's eyes widened. Why would they do that? Because I'm not just a medical problem. My body is changing. Faster. Every day. I don't just heal. I adapt. They feared what I might become. Tom's voice was low. You could have become a threat, or a cure. Rilke nodded. And they didn't want to risk either. Tom stood and began pacing. This changes everything. It already changed, Lena said. She's alive. They failed. No, Rilke said, her voice shaking. They haven't failed yet. They'll come back, not to take me, but to finish what they started. Tom's fists clenched. Not while I'm breathing, Lena spoke carefully. You said your body adapts. Has it changed recently? Rilke looked down at her hand. My skin gets tougher each day. My mind, sharper. And when the soldiers came here, I felt something. Like I knew they were outside before they even knocked. Tom looked at her, stunned. That's not just healing, that's evolution. The room fell quiet. Lena broke the silence. They might not want the world to know what you are, but maybe the world needs to know. No, Rilke said firmly. If others find out, I'll be hunted by more than just the council. Some will want to use me. Others will want to destroy me. I don't want to be a weapon. I just want to live. Tom's voice was soft. You deserve that. Rilke looked into his eyes. Why do you care so much? Tom sat down across from her. Because I've been abandoned too, not by a council, but by people who thought I wasn't useful anymore. I know what it feels like to be thrown away. Her eyes softened. She nodded. Outside, the wind picked up. Lena checked her screen. We have movement. A drone. Tom ran to the window. A small flying machine hovered above the trees, black and silent. They've found us. We need to go, Lena said. No, Rilke said, standing. We need to prepare. Tom raised an eyebrow. You're in no shape to fight. Rilke stepped forward. Her arm was steady now, her back straight, her eyes calm and glowing bright violet. I'm not the same girl you pulled from the rubble, she said. Something inside me woke up. Tom looked at her for a long second and realized she wasn't just surviving anymore, she was becoming. The wind outside howled like a warning. Inside the small clinic, the air had changed, not just because of the fear, but because of her. Rilke stood near the door, staring into the dark forest beyond. Her posture was different now, stronger, steady. The trembling had stopped. The weakness was gone. Tom stood beside her, a wrench in one hand, the other resting on the scanner he had modified into a motion detector. "They're coming," Rilke whispered. Tom nodded. "How many?" She closed her eyes and listened. Her senses reached farther than any human could understand. 3 scout ships, 1 dropship, at least 10 armed guards. Dr. Lena gasped. "That's a full capture squad." "No," Rilke said calmly. "It's an execution team. The Alien Council wasn't coming to bring her home, they were coming to erase her. No witnesses, no trace, no questions." Tom turned toward Rilke. "You don't have to face them. We can run." "No," she said. "If we run, they'll chase us forever. If I hide, others like me will never be free." Tom looked confused. "Others?" "There are more," she said. "Hidden, changed like me. Born with gifts the Council wants to control or kill." Lena stepped forward. "Then, this isn't just about you," Rilke nodded. "It never was." The team began preparing the clinic for a fight. Tom reinforced doors with metal bars and welded frames shut. Lena set up medical supplies in the back, just in case. And Rilke? She stood quietly in the center of the room, her fingers glowing, faintly with violet light. Something in her blood had awakened. Her body was no longer fragile. Her mind no longer clouded. She wasn't a test subject anymore. She was a survivor with a reason to fight. And this time, she wasn't alone. Hours passed. Then it came, like thunder. The ground trembled as the alien dropship descended behind the trees. A deep, mechanical hum filled the air. Shadows moved through the mist, tall, armored figures carrying stun blades and plasma rifles. They surrounded the clinic. A voice called out in their native tongue, sharp and cold. "Return the subject. Exit the building and you will not be harmed." Tom glanced at Rilke. "What do we do?" She stepped forward, eyes burning with light. "We answer." She opened the door and stepped outside. Alone. 10 guards raised their weapons. The commander, in the center, lowered his helmet visor. "You were warned," he said. "You were marked. Your life ended the day your kind chose strength over weakness." "My kind," Rilke said, voice calm, "chose fear. But I choose freedom." The commander raised his hand. "Then die with it." Before he could give the order, a wave of force blasted from Rilke's hands, silent, bright, and invisible. The guards staggered back, their rifles shaking. The trees behind them bent like wind had punched them. Tom and Lena rushed out, ducking behind cover. The battle began. Tom used homemade flash grenades and tools he'd turned into traps. Lena operated from the back, pulling injured guards out of the line of fire. She didn't want death, just survival. But Rilke, she moved like lightning. Every hit she took healed fast. Every move she made grew stronger. Her eyes glowed like fire. Her voice echoed when she shouted, "No more chains!" One by one the soldiers fell, stunned, disarmed, and broken in spirit. The commander tried to run. Rilke stepped in front of him. He fell to his knees. "You should not exist," he whispered. She looked him in the eye. "But I do." When the smoke cleared, the soldiers were alive, but defeated. Tom walked up beside her. "You didn't kill them." "I didn't have to," she said. "I just had to show them I wasn't afraid." Lena stepped forward. "What now?" Rilke looked to the stars. "They came here to erase me," she said. "But now they'll go back and tell the truth, that the weak girl survived, that the broken one stood tall, that a human saved her, not with power, but with care." Tom smiled. "Sounds like we just started something." Rilke looked at him, her eyes soft. "No, Tom. You started it the day you gave me a chance." The clinic was quiet again. Smoke drifted from the battlefield outside. The council soldiers were gone, defeated but alive. Tom and Dr. Lena sat in silence, watching Rilke from across the room. She stood near the table, arm wrapped in cloth, eyes glowing faintly violet. Her body bore fresh wounds from the fight, but her face showed no pain. In truth, she had never looked stronger. But strength wasn't what worried Tom. It was the silence. Rilke hadn't said a word since the commander fled. She was thinking, remembering, or maybe changing. Later that night, Dr. Lena ran a final scan. Tom leaned over her shoulder. "What are we looking at?" Lena didn't answer right away. Then she whispered, "This is not normal." On the screen, Rilke's blood cells moved like liquid fire, shifting shapes, multiplying fast, pulsing with strange light. "She's not just healing anymore," Lena said. "Her blood is rewriting itself. It's changing faster than anything I've ever seen." Tom frowned. "Like a mutation?" "No," Lena said. "Like a program, a message, something waiting to wake up." In the corner, Rilke sat alone, staring at her hands. She could feel it too. Every heartbeat felt louder now. Her skin tingled. Her thoughts came faster. She could hear sounds from outside the walls. Voices. Insects. Even the electricity in the walls. She felt alive in a way she had never known before, but it scared her, because she didn't know what she was becoming. And worse, she didn't know if she could stop it. She called Tom over. "I need to tell you something," she said. He sat beside her. "Before the attack on my colony, my sister and I overheard the elders speaking. They said I was not just born with a rare condition, I was created." Tom blinked. "Created?" She nodded. "My mother was a scientist. She volunteered. They took something from an ancient vault, a gene sample not from this galaxy, something alien even to them." Tom's mouth went dry. "You're saying you were engineered?" "They wanted to test what would happen if they mixed that ancient DNA with ours," she said. "But when I started to grow faster, stronger, different, they got scared. They destroyed the records. Then they tried to destroy me." Tom leaned back, stunned. "They tried to erase the experiment," he said. Rilke looked him in the eye. "But I'm still here." Meanwhile, in the orbit above the planet, another ship hovered, silent and unmarked. Inside, two figures watched, a screen showing heat signals from the surface. "She has awakened," one of them said. The other nodded. "Then the others will feel her soon." Back at the clinic, Dr. Lena paced the room thinking. "She's not just a target," she said. "She's a signal, a living beacon. If others out there have the same DNA, they might come for her, or worse, be hunted because of her." Rilke stood up, her voice calm but sharp. "Then I have to find them first." Tom stared at her. "You want to leave?" "I have to," she said. "There are more like me, hidden, abandoned, scared. If I stay, I'll only bring danger to you, but if I go, I might give them hope." Tom was quiet. He didn't want her to go, but he understood. "You're not the same girl I pulled out of the rubble," he said softly. She smiled. "No, but without you, I wouldn't be alive." That night she packed a small bag. Not much, just tools, supplies, and a data chip Lena had prepared. Inside it, maps, medical files, and everything they'd learned about her DNA. When she stepped outside, the stars were bright. Tom walked her to the edge of the trees. "Will I see you again?" he asked. She touched his hand. "I don't know." "You'll be careful?" "I'll be stronger," she said. "For all of us." Then she turned and disappeared into the night. But deep in Tom's chest, he felt it. She wasn't alone anymore. She had a purpose and a future. Rilke walked through the misty woods with stars above and silence below. Every step she took felt heavier, but not with fear, with purpose. Her journey had begun as a broken memory, a child left behind, a mistake. But now her mind was clear. Her heart was steady. She wasn't going to run anymore. She was going to face the ones who tried to erase her and make them hear her voice. At sunrise, She reached the ancient hall of the Kalari Council. Guards aimed weapons at her as she approached, but something in her eyes made them lower their guns. She didn't attack. She didn't scream. She simply walked, alone, into the place where her life had once been judged worthless. Inside, 12 council members sat in silence. One of them spoke sharply. "You were not summoned." Rilke stood tall. "I don't need permission to exist." Another elder leaned forward. "You should not be alive." "But I am," she said. "And I've come to ask a question." The room tensed. "What question?" The elder sneered. Rilke stepped closer. Her voice did not shake. "How many more like me did you leave behind?" The council members looked at each other. Some shifted uncomfortably. She continued. "You created me. You feared me. You tried to destroy me. But I'm still here, and I've found strength not in your science, but in the kindness of a human." They laughed. "A human? A creature of chaos and weakness?" Rilke nodded. "Yes, he had no power, no army, no reason. But he gave me a jacket. He gave me hope, and he gave me the one thing you never did." Her voice softened. "Love." The room went silent. Then the head counselor stood. "And what do you want now?" "Revenge?" "No," she said. "Not revenge. Change." They frowned. "I want every file on the others like me made public. I want them found, not to be studied, but saved." The counselor laughed. "You expect us to rewrite our ways?" "I expect you to evolve," she said. "Just like I did. And if we refuse," she raised her hand and let it glow. "Not as a weapon, as a warning. I won't fight you, but I will walk out of this building and speak. And soon your people will hear what you've done. And when they choose between you and me, they won't choose fear." The counselors looked shaken, not because of her powers, but because her words were true. One of them, an elder with tired eyes, stood up. "Perhaps it's time we listened." Rilke lowered her hand. The light faded. The silence was now filled with something new, possibility. A few days later, back on the human settlement, Tom fixed an old antenna outside his shack. The wind blew gently. Birds chirped. He missed her. He thought of her every hour. Would she survive? Would she be hunted again? He didn't know. But deep down, he believed she was out there, changing the world. Then, at sunset, he heard a sound behind him. Soft footsteps. He turned, and there she stood, dust on her boots, a small smile on her, lips and light in her eyes. "Miss me?" she said. Tom dropped the wrench. "You came back." She walked to him, slow and calm. "I had to. You're part of my story." He chuckled. "Thought you were too busy saving the galaxy." "I still have work to do," she said. "But now, I have a home to return to." She looked up at him. "And someone to come back for." Tom didn't say a word. He just opened his arms, and she stepped into them. This time, not weak, not broken, but whole.